So, if this video goes on a little bit of a rant, I apologize. But anyway, let's get into the video. So the January update dropped today. Not today, actually, like a week ago. I'm recording this video a week later because I've been busy this week with classes and so forth. But, for the most part, what did the January update do? Well, the January update had added this car, for the most part. It was added into the police dealership, and yeah, for the most part, that's all that was added. Or so I thought. Then I did some crepe missions with this car, and I noticed there was a hidden car as well. The Ford GT Police, which I'll show you later. But this car is actually all the talk right now, on the forums and whatever. A lot of people are ranting about this car, saying that the McLaren 12C is no longer exclusive to the Season Pass. In a way it is, still. Because the McLaren 12C and the Ferrari 458, Speciale, are still hidden behind a paywall, and that is the Season Pass. This car, the police versions of this car, and the 458 are also hidden behind a paywall, a completely different paywall from the Season Pass, and that is calling all units. So in a way, the 458 and the McLaren 12C are still Season Pass exclusive vehicles. You won't be able to get them any other way. Unless if you get a paywall. Unless if you pay for calling all units. But that doesn't really matter because most people don't really have it. Well, not most people, like 50% of the people of the game don't have it. But yeah, off of that topic a little bit. Today, they actually added the Ford GT police car into the car dealerships as well. Because they probably, this was probably not intended to be added into the crates at the time when the patch launched. But it did, and then they realized, then they probably decided that today they should add it into the dealerships. Partially because a lot of the people already have this car who own calling all units. I own it. I worked my butt off to get this car, and I'm glad I did because this thing is absolutely amazing. This car is actually, the police edition of the Ford GT is actually faster than the racer edition of the Ford GT, which is interesting. In fact, the stats are different from the two cars. Which I will post some screenshots on the screen right now, and you'll be able to pause the video and look to see the differences between the two stats, and you'll see that there are actually two completely different stats. Now, the acceleration for the most part is different, lower from the racer version on the police version. That is, the top speed is a little bit higher on the police version of the Ford GT, but the grip is a lot higher on the police edition of the Ford GT. The brakes are a little bit worse as well, but that's kind of negligible. So where does this car stand? This car is actually a lot faster. The police edition is a lot faster than the racer edition. By a lot. And I did some time testing with it as well. And overall, the police vehicles are actually a little bit slower than the other police vehicles. In terms of perf spec, they are slower because the perf spec, the police cars are actually stiffer. The police perf spec cars are stiffer than the racer perf spec cars. Which is interesting in a way to kind of make them handle better. The only other police car that has different stats from the racer vehicle is the Lamborghini Aventador. But that's pretty much it. That's the only two vehicles that actually have different stats. And so yeah. But overall, this is pretty interesting though that they added different stats for the Ford GT. And for the police cars in general, just a little bit different. I thought they were the same, but they're actually not. Which actually makes the police vehicles a little bit slower in perf spec in terms of the racer vehicles. I probably already said that, but still. Everywhere else, I think they're faster. I'm not sure about street spec, because the Mercedes GLC doesn't actually have a racer variant. The police version of the GLC does not have a racer variant. Yet, that is. If they do add a racer variant, then I will test them to see if they are actually... if there's any major difference between the two of them. I don't know why I have the escape menu open. But yeah, the update didn't really do too much to the game. Actually, it actually fixed quite a few bugs. With the police vehicles, there was actually an issue where the lights weren't actually anchored properly on the car. So let me take a car which actually had a major issue, the Aventador. Take a screenshot of this, not screenshot, take photo mode, and I'll actually put the damage mode on the cars. So as you can see, vehicle damage, Before, these lights, the little red and blue lights in the headlights, would actually not be anchored there, anchored to the headlight. They would actually like float. They'd go from this, they would like, basically they would be in this position, and then when the car would crumple, they would actually stay in this position. And then they would be floating after a while, when you put max damage on the cars. They fixed that, which is kind of nice, I guess. They also fixed some of the anchoring on the backlights as well. That's completely fixed. And some of the cars, they still float, but that's not too major. You won't really notice it unless if you look in photo mode. As you can see there, they are kind of floating, but you don't notice it when you're actually just simply driving it. What else got fixed? Oh, the Kawasaki GPZ overall actually got its major issues fixed, actually. Let me show you what I mean by that. The car actually had issues with the gauges not illuminating at nighttime, but now if we put the game to nighttime, there you go. They illuminate now, which is pretty nice. Is there anything else that got changed? For the most part, that crossing gate arm broke somehow. No idea. The summit actually got a pretty major change. I can't really demo it for you here right now, but now you can actually win vehicles, apparently, from the weekly summits, which I don't have that option available to me because I own all the vehicles. But if we go to the reward section, as you can see, they redid the reward systems. There's a boost pack, there's no reward system. This is actually about the same as it was before. In bronze, you actually have a lot of different kinds of rewards. You can win an extreme spec. They actually changed the image of the extreme spec kit as well. Now you can win just one type of extreme spec kit. Before, like, depending on which medal you'd get, you would actually get either a monster spec, a drift spec, or a drag spec kit, depending on, this is actually the monthly summit, this is not the weekly summit. But yeah, now you can win a random kind of extreme spec kit from here. I don't know if it's more than one extreme spec kit. I'm going to have to actually test that next month. I didn't bother to test that. But yeah, maybe I will test that in the future. But as you can obviously see, there's the vehicle reward for this month is going to be the Koenigsegg GR, which kind of concerns me because there are actually no brand new vehicles being added in to the summit anymore. And there's not any brand new vehicles being added in general. So that one thing that actually concerned me in the statistics for the full stock vehicles, this is actually just a bug simply. These missing full stock vehicles actually belong to the police cars, which they're not obtainable, unfortunately. So yeah, but for the most part, yeah, hopefully they will hide those cars later, the full stock editions of the police cars, because I'm pretty sure those are not supposed to exist. And they still have yet to actually fix this. This is a pretty major issue. This is a little animation of the driver dude drifting around here. And yeah, the session system is still broken for the most part. There's another guy. There's that dude again, as you can see. So let's go to the HQ real quick because I don't want to hear these guys. Bugs were also fixed as well. Unfortunately, the AMG GT's visual parts were not fixed. The spoilers are still broken, but I'm pretty sure they'll get to that later. Aventador's gauge is still broken. But yeah, for the most part, this update really didn't bring much to the game. As you can see, I'm scrolling through the car list real quick, and there is not a single brand new car. There's not a single brand new spec added in. Well, they also added the Ducati Panigale into the bike dealership today as well, which is pretty nice, I guess. But the AMG GT is still not in the car dealership. But yeah, again, for the most part, like I said, there's basically nothing that's been done to the game. No new vehicles added in. Nothing new. The patch did actually add in some new rims for the rough R235, which I'll show you right here in a second. If I can get to them in time before I run out of time. Before there was actually only one rim option. It was only this rim option for the rough R235, but now they added in these other two rim options for you to have on your car, which is kind of nice. Those were actually missing for a good while, but they added them in recently, which is kind of nice to know that they added them in. But again, for the most part, there's basically nothing done to the game. There's going to be a bunch of new police vehicles added in, which I'll show you actually some little sneak peeks of them right here. These extra vehicles down here, these are actually the police vehicles. Oh, for crying out loud. Doesn't mean to do that. This is a police vehicle, that's a police vehicle, and this is also a police vehicle. We have a Chevrolet Impala Sports Sedan coming in as a police vehicle. kind of nice, I guess, but at the same time, it's nothing. And I've run out of recording time. Dang it, I've been talking for too much. But yeah, police car. All these unobtainable cars on the list are the police vehicles. And then these guys right here are also police vehicles. So there's kind of a line as to where it stops, the police vehicles. The police vehicles stop about here, I guess. Hold up. Is it about here? Yes. Are you kidding me? Stop doing that, game. The police vehicle stops at about the Aventador, which, that's it. The Aventador, then the Raptor, and you could ignore the Hypermotard because it's not a police car, Clear R, so forth. So if you see extra vehicles on this list, it's probably the police vehicles that you're seeing here. Unfortunately, they don't have a little thing saying that this is indeed the police vehicle. It'd be nice if they could change the text color. It'd be nice if it could change the text color to be like blue or whatever to indicate that it's a police vehicle. That's kind of a bug, which I told them about. Hopefully they'll fix it. Not fix it, address it. But for the most part, like I said, this update really didn't bring anything, which is kind of concerning to me, meaning that they're probably not going to be adding any brand new vehicles for the most part into the game. And that concerns me because, well, I enjoy playing the game. But them adding police vehicles is not really going to keep me playing the game for much longer, to be completely honest. Because the police vehicles are basically exactly the same. Just slightly different, but they're exactly the same as the standard racer vehicles already. And I don't count them as new vehicles at all. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give the video a like and stuff, and I will see you in the next one.